And then, like I said, with Enterprise, I love Dear Doctor, and then I just, any of the episodes where you know, Archer's having to basically figure it all out. And what I was talking with someone, they had made a very good point. Jonathan Archer had the most character development as a captain of all of them, because literally he's having to deal with T'Pol, always, looking over his shoulder, telling him like, should we really do that? You know, and then eventually, they do have their mutual respect, which was just phenomenal. And it was great. And so,
I think with Archer, I think you can watch it and know that he wasn't always right. You know, with some of the other captains, they're presented like they always do the right thing and every decision is beyond reproach. But Archer, you're watching those episodes and you're like, come on, man, what are you doing? But that's realistic. Nobody's right all the time. I think he made a lot of bad decisions along the way, but
who's your favorite character then of all if you can name one or two or three or 10?
I mean that's exactly it. You're like, oh, this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, Data and Jean-Luc Picard are always gonna have that place in my heart because that's what started it all. I love I love Garak in Deep Space Nine. Who doesn't, right?
Oh my god, Garrick, he is just he is such a great character. Like, you're right. I mean,
I think that's one of the best examples of the actor dictating where the character went, because he gave that character so much life that the writers kind of had no choice but to do more with him, and it was just wonderful, wonderful acting, wonderful character. So many levels and layers, and you never quite knew what you were going to get with him on a given day. Some days he's going to stab you in the back. Some days he's going to save your life and be the hero. You just don't know.
oh no, you're right. He was yeah. I like Garrick, and and they actually got to answer some questions in season 5 of Lower Decks during the multiverse.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you've seen season
I'm
5.
aware of the question you are referencing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it and I applaud it. I mean,
Yeah.
Andy Robinson has always said he kind of played it that way. So
Mhm. Well, I applaud that whole season personally on
yeah,
Lower Decks. I It was, as you'll probably agree as well, but when we're sitting there and I'm watching it and Lily Sloan comes out and then to Paul, and I'm like, is that really her?
that was my first thought. It's like surely they don't have her voice. Somebody's going to be subbing this in, but no, it was her.
It was her.
Hmm.
Oh my, and because yeah, that was phenomenal, and nobody expected that. And I was in a seventh rule. We were doing one of our discussions one night for a recording, and I literally asked. I said, "How the hell do you think they got her?" And I don't remember who it was said. Um, you don't have to come. You don't have to put makeup or get your hair done. You can just come in your, sweatpants and record. I was like, well, that very well could have been it.
Yeah, I read somewhere that the guy Mike
Mike McMahon.
wrote her a letter like asking
Yeah.
her to do it. So, and you're right. She doesn't have to act. She doesn't have to. It was an easy way to do it and kind of a thank you to the fans. I think because we know she doesn't do conventions. We know she doesn't do that. But this was a way I think she could acknowledge the fans. Well, let me ask
Oh
you
my god.
this: if you could have
Yeah.
any other character come back and do a cameo, who would you want?
Well, I would. It's a toss up, and it'd be just the two hardest probably. Actually, would be Archer and or Cisco. And I feel Archer would. I feel Scott Bakula would probably do it long before Avery Brooks would. But those would be the next two that would be Oh, that would be great to get one of those 2 back.
I was talking to someone recently actually about you know, the Section 31 movie and how Paramount maybe you're just doing these one-off things. Someone was saying if there was like an Enterprise movie like 20 years later and it's like the birth of the Federation, some showing more of that, if they could get a script, I bet you he'd do it. I bet you they'd all do it.
I know we've talked a lot, but do you may have already said this, like a memorable episode that, like, really kinda just, like, sticks to you?
Yeah, so yeah, I did mention that a lot of my favorite were Next Generation episodes, and Um, the ones that I liked the best were ones where there was kind of a puzzle. There was like a mystery unfolding in the episode, and I got a few examples for you. So there was the episode Conundrum, where they all wake up on the bridge and they've got no memory, they don't know who they are, and they're all looking around like, "Who are you? Who are we?" And there's that extra guy there, and we all know he's an extra guy, but they don't. And watching them figure it out, and some of the shenanigans that ensued, I enjoyed that one. There was the Future Imperfect, where Riker wakes up in the future, and he's got a kid, and but he knows something's quite not quite right, and you're the viewer, and you're watching them figure it out, and then the Beverly Crusher, Remember Me, where it's like, if there's nothing wrong with me, there must be something wrong with the universe.
I did like that was a good episode.
Hmm.
That was a real good episode.
But those kind of episodes were the ones that I always remembered best.
Is it the Chase? Was that's the Chase, that's right, that's the name for it? It's the, yeah, I think it is. It's the one when we kinda actually meet the changelings, but they're
Oh,
not the changelings.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. The common ancestor for all life. Yeah,
all life, yeah, all life.
all humanoid
Yeah,
life.
all humanoid life, correct. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one as well. And so,
And yesterday's Enterprise with when Tasha Yar came back for the episode, that was good.
oh, that was a
The
good
sort of
one.
alternate timeline Tasha Yar,
Yeah,
and
and
then the
Denise
the time.
Crosby had sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then the time loop one where the Enterprise keeps getting destroyed, and they have to figure out what's going on. Just those kind of mystery ones. Those are cool.
I always like to ask this question. What alien species did you find the most intriguing? And if you do,
Well, the Borg was my favorite. I don't know if they were intriguing as such though, because you know there was some efforts to make them intriguing with Hugh and some of the stuff in Picard where they explored it a little bit more. I'm sure there's some one-off aliens that were particularly intriguing, but yeah, I guess Borg is my answer. I love the Borg.
well, you said something a few minutes ago, and because it's very fresh on everybody's mind, I'm going to kind of go off script a little bit.
Uh oh.
And Section 31,
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah, when I said all Trek is good Trek, I this is testing that theory for me because it did not feel like Trek. I enjoyed the movie. It had its moments, but that's not Star Trek to me. That's not what the soul of Star Trek is. It was an action movie. It had too much comedy, too much goofiness. It had some Star Trek races in it, but it didn't feel like Star Trek to me.
It's Mission Impossible meets Star Trek.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
The last trailer that had dropped, I was like, "Oh my god, this looks horrid." It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Was it great? Oh no, it was not great. But I was one of the defenders today, and, and I said, and I just had to. I was just putting it in perspective in a way. I said, okay, you had a series, you had something that was going to be a series, 10 episodes for easy math, 45 minutes. So it's 450 minutes that they had to condense into 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So they basically took 5 hours of potential content and squished it. And that's where, and I think for me, that's why I am giving it kind of a pass, because it's something they Alex Kurtzman explained on an interview with Trek Culture that, they had COVID shut them down. Then Michelle Yeoh got won her Oscar, which at that point she could have said bye and the project was done. And then the strike happened. So the series had just all of these roadblocks put in front of it. But Michelle Yeoh, she wanted it. And I think she used her Oscar power to keep it going. Now, yes, it it's not Star Trek like we were all expecting. And one of the guys made a comment. That's why there was he's being a smart ass, but he's like, that's why the Star Trek was tiny in the text.
Well, to me, it made the cardinal sin. Star Trek is supposed to make you think. I don't think anything in that movie made me think. It was just a series of action. There was a story. There was plot point, plot point, plot point. But at no point did I pause and think about anything.
Okay, now the fun question.
I was gonna say we can't end on that, so we gotta.
Oh no, hell no, no. The fun question. Um, what Star Trek technology do you wish existed today?
So many. Um, Transporters would be great. Um, I know that would change the world in a very massive way, but that would be pretty cool. Replicators, obviously. That would solve a whole lot of problems too.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Transporter is my number one,
yeah,
followed by Replicators,
we're on the same
uh,
page.
and then obviously Warp
Yeah,
for me.
sure. Yeah, I mean spaceships in general. You know,
Hmm.
but yeah,
But
transporters. If that was possible, I know they've done experiments on that, and it's conceivable from what I understand of the science. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to put
yeah,
myself through it.
no, everybody, everything I hear people talk about is basically it's just like a death replicators.
Yeah,
You're destroying yourself and make another copy.
right.
But boy, it sure would make traveling overseas a lot more fun and a lot
Yeah,
easier
sure.
and a lot quicker.
Yeah, and commuting would be nice.
Oh, I know.
Just wake up and go, "Bzz," and I'm in the office.
Exactly.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Rich, thank you
Well,
so
thank you.
much for giving me your time tonight and doing this. And I have been so blessed lately with the amount of people that I like. You ask, like, sure, I'll talk about Star Trek
Yeah,
in general, and it's just, oh my goodness, I am, yeah, it's been fun and
we
it's been
spend a
tough.
lot of our time talking about Star Trek anyway. We may as well do it on camera, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it and thank you so much.
Mhm.
And I hope you have a enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
Thank you. Bye.
For as little as $5 per month, you can gain early access to the full ad-free versions of all interviews, plus additional exclusive content by joining Patreon.